Hello folks, I hope that you're having just a great day today. Today we're going to be taking a look at another Leigh Brackett short story. The Vanishing Venusians was published in 1944 for the magazine Planet Stories. It's another the science fiction fantasy sort of Sword and Planet style of science fiction that was popular during the pulp era. That was probably made popular by Gary Gygax's John Carter of Mars, and then you have a lot of people that will write in that sort of genre it's heavily influential in science fiction. It's sort of adventure and style of writing, and this is definitely set on the planet Venus. We're going to be encountering both Venusians and Terrans. As well. It was also very common to have Venusians in your work too, because Edgar Rice Burroughs had both a series set in Venus and a series set in Mars. And so for that reason, the Sword and Planet typically has Venus as habitable, although typically not nice. And in this case, in Leigh Brackett's The Vanishing Venusians, Venus is also not, Venus rather, is not easily habitable. They have to find special places to go to. This is a colony story, a colonization story. And we're following along our point of view characters. There are three of them. And they are, moving to, and basically what winds up happening is we open up and there are a fleet of ships that is sailing, looking for another place to set up a colony, so we don't know a whole lot about why. Leigh Brackett doesn't give us a whole lot of information about what's going on, but basically the idea is that they're looking for another place to set up a colony, and they're looking for a plateau that's different, away from the swamps, because most of Venus is swampy, and their last place was a nice place up in a plateau that gave them enough fertile land. But there's not like a whole bunch of information about why they left or anything like that. We're not going to spend too much world building. This is an adventure Sword and Planet after all. It's not going to spend pages and pages world building. It's just going to give you like a couple paragraphs, a couple pages of context, and then it's going to move into the adventure. Basically, what's going to wind up happening is that three people in our expedition are going to set out. They have arrived at a swamp. They found land. They've arrived there. It's kind of very, very swampy. And so an expedition of three guys is going to set out to check out the plateau. They can't see it in the mists. So they're going to send out an expedition to check it out. And then you're going to follow along with the expedition. And that's pretty much it. The core things of this expedition on Venus, there are a number of Terrans in the expedition, and in this settlement colony fleet. There are also a few Venusians as well. One of our three main characters is married to a Venusian wife, so that certainly is happening. So we're going to follow along with the weird story building of the story. Now, I do think that this is my favorite story I've read by Leigh Brackett so far. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Leigh Brackett, now to be fair, I've only read 3 of her stories. So to be fair, I haven't read like a whole lot of stories by Leigh Brackett. Now, there is an unfortunate thing. One of our three main characters is a black character, and as is common from a lot of stories that are set in the pulp era, he's not characterized particularly well. Oftentimes they'll have dialects that's different than the white characters. That represents some culture needing. Oftentimes they're disposable and they'll die very, very quickly. And this is not just true, obviously, of fiction in the pulp era. This is also true of later fiction too. But very early on in this short story, just about 5 or 6 pages into it, the black character is going to die. And I don't like how he dies or the nature of his death. It wasn't necessary for the story. But a lot of times the black character will die, and in this case he's the stronger character, the smarter and the savvier character, so him dying, it's sad to say for the two white characters that survive. I get it because they're not as strong as he is, but I don't think it was necessary for the story to really flourish. But I do like Leigh Brackett's descriptions in here. I was never bored. It's about 32 pages in my novel size collection. It took me a little bit less than an hour, about 55 minutes for me to knock it out. So I knocked it out one day for you and finished it last night. So there you are. That is the Vanishing Venusians by Leigh Brackett. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. Have you read it? What did you think of it? Did you agree or disagree with my take on this story? I'd be more than happy to engage with it further in the comments below. If you like this video, why not hit that subscribe button? Because there's going to be a lot more of these to follow. And finally, hey, I just want to thank you for taking some time out of your day and investing into my video. We all have so many things that are happening in our lives, right? And we're spending time in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me is incredibly humbling. And I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have a great day.